it's Romy here. Welcome to my channel. This is the reading for the sign of Aries for February 2020. So if you're an Aries sun, rising or moon, it's a general reading, but it may resonate for you. If you'd like to support my work further, you can go ahead, join me for the extended reading. The links for that are in the description box below. You can also find me on Facebook, at my website romywyser.com, or in my membership group via Patreon. Let's go ahead and see what's coming out in February for you, Aries. Okay, Aries, it's February 2020. We're going to open your reading with two cards. The first is your guide card for the month ahead. From the Major Arcana, it's the card of Strength. The second is your gift card for February, and this is the card of Enlightenment. So let's just put some focus here on what Strength is bringing through for us. First of all, we have a full moon in the sign of Leo, and Strength is connected to the star sign. So for me, this is talking about the heart energy that's going to be really present for you through this month of February, Aries. It's about this quiet strength that I feel is emanating from you. After we've been through intense periods of transformation and change, where our paths have been adjusted and redirected, where we have faced things within ourselves, where we have had to put our energy in numerous different directions into different situations in our life, there comes a moment where we have to pause, reflect, and really take a beat to see what the landscape looks like. And I feel that this Strength card is actually giving you the moment to pause and call everything back in. This is a time when you are actually standing far more grounded than you have, far more present, far more awake, far more conscious. And even if when you look around things feel more unsettled than you expected them to be, even if they feel like they've not quite slotted into place, even if there are energies that are still very intense, what we're being shown is that the energy of this heart, this courage, this bravery is actually allowing you to still be able to thrive in any landscape, in any environment. And this is important because February is one of those really powerful shift months where you start to get a glimpse of what is coming in for you, what the future is beginning to look like. And I think that so many of you are going to be really aware of major life decisions and adjustments that you're now having to make, or perhaps are already in the process of making. So we have Venus moving into your sign in Aries on the 7th of February, which is wonderful. It's giving this beautiful power boost, this real cardinal energy that's going to be very sympathetic and supportive to this guidance of strength coming through. It's really helping you, what I'm going to say, to know yourself on a really deep level, to be able to challenge anything that is no longer working for you, to challenge people in a way that's very stoic, but it's coming from a place of heart, it's coming from a place of strength, and also importantly, it's coming from a place of enlightenment. What we see in this card is that the boat has set sail. So I feel like you've already begun a new chapter. You've already set off in a new direction in some aspect of your life, Aries. And through this month of February, the gift that the universe is bringing is support and the opening up of that path. The enlightenment comes because there is a recognition within you of what it took to get to this point in your journey. And this is about you now calling on that experience, that expertise, that wisdom, that resiliency, to bounce back, to call your energy back in, to regroup, whatever is necessary to be able to actually allow the wind in your sails to start to carry you forward. Potential is limitless here. And remember, we're in Aquarius energy, so this beautiful galaxy and blue sky thinking, this coming to a different perspective, looking for new ideas, new solutions to old problems. All of this energy is very strongly around you at this time. The full moon in Leo this month as well has a beautiful aspect to Mars. It's trining Mars, which is of course your ruling planet. So again, it's giving you that extra dose of power, of strength, of fortitude. So expect February to really begin with a powerful momentum of energy really driving you forward and helping you to see how far you've come and what you now need to draw upon. But I think that idea of pulling your energy back in is really important. So if you do, some of you feel a little bit scattered and a little bit drained as a result of some of the intensity of what January delivered, and even, you know, the last few months of 2019, remember to just take that time. Remember who you are, Aries. You know, this is about the fact that you have this warrior energy. You have this instigating cardinal fire that's ready to take you forward. But we begin your main card reading with the Two of Swords. So a choice or a decision to make. Are you going to stay in that old energy, or are you ready for something completely different? Where is your heart and your mind at odds? Remember, the crescent moon in the reading here is suggesting that we need to tap into that deeper intuitive part of ourselves. The water in the card here is suggesting that to a certain extent we have to go with the flow. You do actually have the strength to be able to understand what the right choice and decision is. But I think perhaps you've set yourself a moment as we enter into February to just take a step back and really think something through before you take that next step forward. But you know, this feels like it's quite a major life decision or choice for you, you know, so it's maybe not something that you want to take too lightly. Maybe you're deciding whether you have it in you to come back in again to something, you know, whether it's professionally or personally. Perhaps, you know, the way things turned out wasn't what you expected, and you're having to really now regroup and charge up your energy, deciding if it is still what you want. I think February is going to give you that opportunity to really review your life in a different kind of way than you ever have before, Aries. You know, you've been through so much of the difficult stuff, and this is about a time of you stepping into more stability and like that inner sense of knowing. You know, King of Pentacles comes forward to deliver you that energy that says, you've got this, you know what's best for you, and you are going to make the choices and decisions that support your security, that support your well-being, that support your peace of mind. And I think that's important. Perhaps you have an earth sign that you're dealing with, and maybe there's a choice or a decision of the heart to come in with a Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. If this is the case, the Strength card does suggest that perhaps you may have had some experience where it's been quite challenging in recent times. But again, this card of Enlightenment as your gift is suggesting transcend any of those old patterns and old ways of thinking. You know, that new moon that we had in Aquarius at the end of January was really clearing out any of the old emotional crutches and safe havens that we had for ourselves. This is about us drawing on something deeper and also setting in place new foundations. You know, that full moon in Leo is activating your 5th house. So it's all about those areas of romance, creativity for you, how you want to be seen. It's about you moving towards things that feel more passionate in your life. But I feel like you're not prepared to risk anything if it's going against like who you are and how you've changed. So 8 of Cups comes in to suggest that there's something that you have to leave behind in order to gain. And okay, for some of you, this literally might feel like you're moving away from a job, a relationship, you know, a home. But I think a lot of this is also reflected on the internal emotional landscape, and where you've come to the really strong conclusion that there is an adjustment that needs to happen within you in order to embrace these new type of energies. And perhaps you have to start to see yourself in a completely different way. You know, if you don't feel as worthy as you should, if you don't feel as strong as you would like to in certain situations, if you can't see the vision that you have in your hopes and dreams for yourself, there's something that has to shift in order for you to embrace and allow that new energy to come in. So Mars moves into the sign of Capricorn on the 16th of February in your 10th house. So it is all about that long-term planning aspect of things. And I think that you are ready to, I will say, let go of anything that feels unimportant now, or it's not going to go the distance. It's not really showing up in a way that it's really adding or taking away anything from your life. I feel like there's a big clearing out of things that are just hanging around that really, you maybe they haven't really bothered you so much, but now when you start to realize that all of these little things added up are still a drain on your energy, there is a kind of a revisiting. And remember, we've got Mercury going retrograde on the 17th of February, but it's going to be in shadow from the 2nd. So initially it's in the sign of Pisces, which is about your 12th house of ending and closure, moving away, walking away. So perhaps there's still some conflict about what you need to let go of, but I think this is about you wanting to find more stability in your life. So anything that just feels like it's half in, half out isn't really going to go the distance. And this is about you feeling a sense of lightness to come in. You know, this is what we're looking for. It's about you shedding so much of the baggage so that you are ready and prepared for new energies, new connections, new inspiration, new ideas to step forward. With that Mercury retrograde, you may well experience a returning energy from somebody that leaves you feeling a little bit conflicted. Perhaps you walked away or they walked away, but there is a situation that might come back around for you, perhaps family related as well, as we bring in the 10 of Pentacles. But again, there's a huge emphasis on this reading, Aries, in February about you finding more stability. And I think so much of this is coming from what you've gained and learned yourself, and the strength that you are applying in these situations to come to the firm conclusion, the only conclusion that says, you know, I have to find that sense of inner security myself, so that no matter what happens in my external world, that isn't knocked out of balance, you know, that I don't allow these things to derail me and with my focus and where I want to go, what I want to achieve in my life. Okay, so Queen of Swords energy coming through. Could be an air sign that you're dealing with, a Gemini, Libra or Aquarian. If it is, and even if this is embodying you, I feel like there's a sense of clarity as well. So perhaps where we do have some indecision through the early stages of this month, Aries, that Queen of Swords energy for me is kind of cutting through anything to tell you exactly what you need to do and why. And again, I think I link that in powerfully to your guide card of strength, because I think internally you do know. This isn't about listening really too much to what anyone else has to say. You know what needs to change in your world, and you know the implications of that. And for some of you, I think that could be quite significant. You could be making these major life choices because there simply isn't an option to go back. You know, this is about us looking forward and you deciding what the rest of this year looks like for you, the type of experiences that you want to invite in, the type of person that you want to be. If this is somebody who has been around you from a relationship perspective, are they still feeling a little bit emotionally distant? Have they turned their back on you, or you turned your back on them? I do feel that there's set to be some resolution that comes through as we're in that Mercury retrograde, but communication could still feel a little bit uncertain. And I think that you are being guided to intuitively assess where somebody is at energetically, so that you do not waste time and energy trying to convince somebody of what your vision looks like. It's like, this is not a month that you need to try to persuade anybody of anything, Aries. This is a month where you need to focus and take the time to put yourself and your own needs first, and make sure that you're bringing in that sense of security and stability for you. And if that person isn't prepared to join you or to hear what you have to say, then it isn't going to serve you to keep banging your head against a wall. It's just not the time for you to be doing this, you know. Aquarius energy is going to try and show you new solutions, different ways of working. And I think for many of you that will be perhaps a stepping back or a turning away from a situation. So we have a lot of court cards coming through in your reading this month. King of Wands energy, so could be yourself, Aries, or another fire sign, a Leo or a Sagittarius. For me, there's a little bit more of this heart energy coming through with King of Wands, linking into that strength card here. So this is where I start to see you really pulling your energy and starting to feel more focused, more optimistic, and actually laying out your plans, laying out what the vision looks like, and being prepared to take a bit of a risk. So I think that once you've come to that conclusion, that choice that you need to make through the month of February, Aries, now I see you moving into planning mode. And I think that, you know, that Queen of Swords energy is going to help you with the detail. And actually, to be honest, like if we look at this from a business or career perspective, this is a great run of energies, because I love the mix of this King of Pentacles bringing in that kind of money mindset and the wherewithal and the business acumen, and Queen of Swords having the detail, the ability to express, communicate new ideas, knowing what needs to be done. And then that King of Wands just having the instinct, the gut instinct, the risk and the you know, the entrepreneurial spirit and flair to actually make something happen. So I think for many of you, if you're looking from a career work perspective, this is also set to be a really powerful month where you see things kind of come into place. Like they're going to start to slot into place in a way that perhaps you haven't witnessed before. You know, you're just looking at it from a different angle. You're starting to realize all of the experience that you already have and drawing on it and putting it together in a different way. It's like moving the pieces of the jigsaw around and all of a sudden finding, you know, a new vantage point that is exciting. You know, there's an excitement I feel is building in the energy of this reading for you. But I think it is important that something needs to be released or let go of before you can give yourself permission to actually follow this through, or to see yourself in that role, to see yourself in that picture, you know. I think that there is some supportive energies coming through from that King of Wands for me in this reading. So if this is denoting another person, he's coming in for me on a level that says, how can I help you? How can I make this easier for you? What can I do? So I think some of you may be coming into contact with some kind of advisor, some kind of introduction, like a friend of a friend, or there's the opportunity to, even with Mercury retrograde, revisit somebody from the past, perhaps an old boss, an old colleague, but they feel like they're coming in with some sage advice for you on the business level. Okay, card of Temperance is lovely coming through here, because I think it is bringing in this sense of healing that you need in order to make the transition and the shift. It's also talking about the sense of divine timing, but I think the divine timing is now, okay? I think that you have waited, you have been patient, you have understood that certain things needed to come into place. I think that you've done a lot of the inner work, and this is a month where you're ready to start seeing results. I think that having that Venus in Aries is giving you the passion and the boldness to actually feel independent in your thinking, and also ready to take the next step. We also have this sense of balance and moderation coming through for you. So I think if you have gone through a bit of a bumpy ride of late, you're set to see that start to calm down a little bit more. Again, this could be a Sagittarius energy that you're dealing with, perhaps somebody connected into the family as well. And again, if there's a choice or a decision about whether to, whether to engage or whether to revisit something, particularly where we've got that Mercury in retrograde, you are being guided. You know, the reading is suggesting that you have what it takes to be able to maintain your energy and hold your balance and hold your alignment. But I guess there's a bigger question of, you know, do you want to go back into an old conversation, or are you ready to find that sense of enlightenment and move forward into something different? You know, old ways won't open new doors, and if you want something different, you have to do something different. These are the kind of the phrases that are coming to mind when we look at this. But there's certainly a blessing to come through for you in this month, and I feel like you're going to be a little bit surprised at how things are starting to show up in the month of February. Like all of a sudden, yeah, things start to move quickly. So where there may have been some stagnation in a particular area for you, it feels now everything is moving at a pace, and you are being invited, Aries, to step up and to own that, so that you can absolutely point these arrows in the direction that you want them. Here's where I feel the gift is coming in, because the universe is saying, okay, We're ready to go. Where do you want us to go, Aries? So you need to be really clear-minded, and I think that's why we have to take the time, if you need it, Two of Swords, Temperance, to figure out what really matters, what your priority is through this month, and then allow the trajectory to absolutely be pointed in the direction that you want it to. Make sure that it's heading in the direction that you see yourself going. Don't allow the universe to misconstrue what's going on with you. Make sure that you're really feeling those visions, those intentions, those dreams in your belly, that you are absolutely tuned in to the outcome that you're seeking at the moment. We have a celebration coming in through the month of February, and I think particularly for those from a business career perspective, there's something set to really start to open up for you unexpectedly and quickly, and you're being asked to seize that opportunity. I think you are absolutely ready to do that. There could well be an offer that comes your way that feels too good to be true. I'm going to say take it. It feels like you have to explore this. You're ready to explore it. This is on the condition that you feel passionate about it, that you feel lit up about it, that it isn't taking you backwards. We don't want to return to anything, even though we've got Mercury retrograde. This is about you acknowledging in that energy what wasn't working so that we can do things differently moving forward, right? So let's take a look at your oracle cards, see how they are reflecting your reading. Okay, card of consistency. This came out for Gemini as well. So I think where we are being guided with this energy is that you need to hold that vision of what it is that you're looking for so strongly in your heart and your mind. Once you figure out what that is, and if you don't yet know, I think the universe has given you some major signposts, Aries. However, if you still feel uncertain, take the time in the early part of February to really feel into that. Remember, the Pisces energy, like Mercury in Pisces and also Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and we move in on the 19th to that energy, is all in your 12th house. So it helps you to tap into that deeper subconscious part of yourself, okay? But it's through your consistency of thought. And remember, you have changed. So are you giving yourself permission to be that new person? And if you are, how have your thought forms changed? And this isn't about just allowing yourself to be that new person for a day or a week. This is a permanent change that, your higher self is looking for from you, that the universe is asking and calling out of you so that you can reach in to that potential and unearth new opportunities and discover new pathways and a more vibrant, a more joyful, a more fulfilled way of being. The consistency is about you being true to yourself, saying what you want, and then deciding that you are going to maintain that vibration at all costs, and you're not going to allow anyone or anything to derail you. You're not going to be taken back into old energy. Just pulled a clarifying card for that, Hanged Man. I think this is really important because we have this sense of spiritual awakening almost that's taking place through this month of February for you, Aries. And where we have felt delays in the past, I see that we're about to get a breakthrough and a change and a kind of moment of real understanding about perhaps where you've held yourself back in different situations. So we have new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Yeah, absolutely. So that consistency that you've held on to, where you have been diligent, where you've kept showing up and have yet to see the rewards, here's where we start to see this really taking fruition. And if we go to the new moon in Capricorn, obviously we had that take place over Christmas Day, Boxing Day in December 2019. So what was going on in and around that time? What were you thinking about? What was on your mind in terms of what you were wanting to call in? Here's where the energy is being reminded to you, and you're being asked to hold the vision of it so that you can see it through. Okay, Aries, I'm going to go ahead and pull some clarifying cards so that we can go a little bit deeper into this reading and see what else is coming through. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, you can find the link in the description box below. So we will clarify this Two of Swords energy with Judgment. Okay. Definitely feels there's a major decision coming for you. But once you make it, I think there's such a point, wow, okay, rebirth, change. There's this point of absolute transformation and shift in your path. You're going to be given the strength to make this choice, whatever it is. Hierophant energy coming through, the King of Pentacles. Certainly could be a Taurus energy here that you are dealing with. Maybe it is about a decision that you need to make that's going to make you feel more secure, or where you're worrying about your sense of security. Eight of Wands energy coming through again, you know, top and tail of the reading here. So there is a suggestion that once you've made that choice, everything's going to start moving very quickly. Six of Swords, yeah, moving forward, moving away. Knight of Wands. Some of you may even be considering relocation or moving home, moving place of work. Three of Cups energy coming in again. Queen of Wands, this could be you, Aries. Knight of Pentacles, a lot of court cards in your reading for February. So people are going to be very important this month. Connections, conversations, choices and decisions with key relationships. The Wheel coming in with that King of Wands. I really feel this. I think this is an unexpected kind of encounter, meeting up, conversation, communication that's taking place with somebody who I do feel you know or know of, but certainly coming in on a positive to open a door for you. Feels very fated. Nine of Wands coming in with Temperance, which I think is just helping you with that sense of burnout, or, you know, perhaps a little bit of weariness about some of the things that you may have been dealing with lately. Justice card coming in here. Could be a Libra energy that you're also dealing with. More balance coming through though. And the Sun, beautiful radiance, and again the card of Leo. Ace of Pentacles coming in with that Three of Cups, so offering a new pathway. Page of Pentacles. Let's check out this Consistency Oracle. Okay, Queen of Cups. Wow, all these court cards. Okay, I think in the extended we're going to look a bit more into the relationship side of things and see where all these individuals are sitting in your path in February. So if you're particularly focused on relationships, we'll go into that in more detail. And Four of Pentacles coming through with that New Moon in Capricorn. Yeah, it makes sense. Really talking about where you're investing your time, your energy, your resources. Building stronger, more solid foundations for yourself. That lovely earthy Capricorn energy really supporting you in that. Remember, it's Jupiter in Capricorn right now, helping in your 10th house to really see that long-term vision that you have, particularly where we have Mars moving into Capricorn as well on the 16th. Okay, Aries, if you would like to join me, I look forward to continuing this conversation with all of these people that are showing up in your reading. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the reading, please drop me a like and a comment. Take good care. I wish you blessings for the month of February.